Alright guys, so last week we talked about the EA rubber band effect in games to artificially keep things close. Today let's discuss Ice Tilt and how to handle it, how to make sure you don't snap your disc. I'm No Sleeves 12. So if you guys have been following along so far, I'm in Division 5 with my free-to-play team. Again, just to update in case anyone's just kind of watching this as their first time in my series. Basically, I'm taking a team where I spend no hut coins on it. I spend no real life money. I essentially just open either packs with hut coins and or from the division title packs. So I'm in Division 5 right now. So today's video is going to be at the Division 5 games as well as the other topic I discussed earlier. And yeah, we'll go from there. So what I want to do right now is just show you guys my current team because it's been a while since I showed you it. And let's take a look over the hot garbage. So we're going to pick it up in game 2, guys. I just want to say, the beginning of the games are always my favorite when I'm doing this series. This has been honestly the most fun I've had in Hut. You take a look at my goalie; it's fucking Anders Nielsen, and I'm rocking a pretty good ratio there. And then when you line up for that opening draw, I've got Polkinen, MacArthur, and Filppula, and this guy's got Kucherov, Kachuk, and McKinnon. Most of the time, it's even better. The opponent has even better guys. So it's really funny to see. I know that guys are just gonna be like, "Oh my god, what the fuck is this dude using?" And then it's really fun to put the sauce to him. Let's pick it up in the first period, guys. So I'm in the offensive zone. I lose the puck. Here's a perfect example of why I set my strategy to super aggressive, especially against the lesser guys. People are a lot more, when they get pressured, are a lot more likely to make mistakes. So right here, again, I switch back to my defenseman early. There's so much pressure on him. I knock the puck loose, get in for that breakaway because all those guys are standing still. This right here is exactly why the 1-4 can kind of be bad, because at the blue line, everyone just stops. So it can be easy to just skate on by and get in on the breakaway. I'll give this kid credit. So right off the draw, gets in the zone, and you'll notice in my videos that I like to play when I'm the defenseman in offensive or in the defensive zone. You'll see when people are doing the into the middle against the grain wrister, I control my defenseman, and I can almost perfectly time the block. I don't go down to pull myself out of position or anything like that. I just stand in front. Sometimes though, you're just gonna miss it slightly. Here, it's just by like less than a couple inches. Misses it, and he hits that huge snipe, and we're tied 1-1. So we're into the second now in a nice tight game. I try to dipsy doodle around his one defenseman. Don't get quite enough space when the puck goes over to the boards. Instead of going back to the point for the overload, when he hits me and I get the puck back, I know that I have the inside track here. So he's switching to his defenseman and just pulling all his guys around and trying to chase. And I leave that across the crease wide open. So 2-1. To everyone who shits on my how to play defense video, here's a perfect example of how to do it manually. Everyone watch when you're defending the rush with your defenseman. You always, I say this in all my other videos, you want to be a defender on the rush, because when you let the AI defend the rush, sometimes they make boneheaded mistakes. So right here again, watch how I'm just guiding him away from where he wants to be. I'm in his way. And then instead of chasing him around, cycle back to the slot. My AI is set to high pressure, so he just bangs him off the puck here. And lets me in for the exact same thing he was trying to do to me, and I make it 3-1 with 4 minutes to go. Alright, and that takes care of game 2 in Div 5. We're off to a good 2-0 start. Alright guys, so let's discuss Ice Tilt and how to handle it and how to, maybe stop it if it is possible. So basically, if you guys don't know what Ice Tilt is, it's something that is rumored or speculated upon in EA, much like the rubber band effect, I think, is in this game. Ice Tilt is something that you'll notice those games where nothing will go right for you, where you're just hemmed in your own zone because your AI just loses the puck or it gets knocked off insanely easy. And I do think that there is that incorporated in the game. I think that it encourages microtransactions to buy better players. So you think that your guys aren't good enough, so you have to buy better players. I also think that it might be when someone's ranked much higher. Again, they want to keep games closer, because if you keep games closer and you almost beat someone good, or maybe you do, you're more encouraged to spend more money in the game. So how do you stop it? How do you mid-game change and break the trend of you getting fucked on continually? And what I would deem as Ice Tilt, or if you how to notice if you are being fucked on in the game. Time on attack. Now again, there's people out there that play off the rush, so their time on attack is gonna be really low, and especially someone like myself, I don't rely on one goal, but the overload is what I do mainly, and that's all about cycling. So I'm gonna definitely have more time on attack more often than not. So how do you affect it? How do you change it? So after the first period, let's say if you're getting crushed maybe 2-1 in time on attack, that's an indicator that they have the puck more than you in the offensive zone. Now again, it's completely okay to let them be in the offensive zone and you control your defenseman and just let them cycle around and not get any good shots off the ones they want. That's fine too. But in most cases, if you're getting 2 or 3 times the amount of time on attack your opponent is on you, then you're getting stuck in your own zone. So here's what I do when I'm getting fucked on continually in one game. What I'll do is I'll switch every strategy that I use to the complete opposite. So in all my strategy videos, guys, I say high pressure, 1-2-2 blue for neutral zone, so that you're always attacking them, always attack, because they're more likely to make mistakes, which is true. Now, if you're getting fucked on, if you're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity. So in the second period, switch everything to collapsing. Switch, tight. If you're using staggered, switch to tight point. Switch to protect net. Like, make everything completely different. Okay. Now, what this will do is, no matter what you play or how you play, it is going to drastically affect how they play in the offensive zone. Because, again, if you're on high pressure or tight point or stagger or anything like that, and the next period you switch to collapsing, that's a completely different setup for the computer, and they're going to have to adjust. Make them adjust. Now, if this doesn't break the trend and they're still hammering you on time on attack and you can't get out, then that just might be that they are better at reading the play than you, which will happen. But again, there's no harm in changing your entire strategy, especially if you get down by multiple goals. And even if you're up, you're up 3-1 in the third period, and they've still had better chances than you, but you've just managed to hang on. Switch everything, and I don't mean by a little bit. You need to drastically change it because, going from high pressure to balanced, you're not going to see that big of a difference. A high pressure to collapsing, or collapsing defense to tight point, that is going to make them have to play completely differently, and that could give you what you need to react a little bit better and buck the fucking trend. All right, guys. So again, that's just my thoughts on ice tilt and how to, kind of break it mid game. If you guys have any other opinions, please leave it in the comment section below. Again, the last video I did on the EA rubber band effect, I definitely think it's there. Great discussion about it on Reddit, as well as my comments. So. All right, guys, back to Division 5. So we're in Game 6. I'm going to skip ahead. Again, guys, I don't want to show you guys every single game. If I take a loss or if there's a good win, I'm going to show you those ones because, again, this isn't just me fucking trying to pump my own tires. I want to show you guys how I play. That way you guys can know and use my strategies to improve your own gameplay and, use free teams to beat up on the big money spenders. So, Game 2, here's a perfect example of completely not paying attention to the fucking game, and in this particular play, I don't know what I'm doing. I think sometimes when you're watching the play and not chasing, you'll completely lose track of the guy you're controlling, and that's exactly what happens here, and your guess is as good as mine, so. Alright, so I shake off that fucking mess, and on the rush here, I get in and I look... looking on the rush, and when you're on the rush and guys start controlling a defenseman, you can see where they're going to go. So see in this specific example here, he controls his defenseman and brings him to the right. He has nothing on the left side of the ice now, and it leaves me a wide open slot into a breakaway, and this guy just knocks it into his own net. So 1-1. To the dudes that get triggered by me saying let the AI do the forecheck or attacking the puck carrier, I'm just going to leave this here.
Pinned up against the glass right now, and it's kicked away by Carter. And he steps across the line. Lets it go. Score! 2 straight.
So I started this playoff with some really good defensive zone stuff here. Again, watch when I lose the puck, I'm not going to start chasing. I go back into the slot and start taking away the lanes again, and he's just up there trying to fucking look around where to pass the puck to. I get the puck knocked off his stick, and for whatever reason, this pass I make up to get it out of the zone right into his own guy leaves all of my dudes flat-footed. I don't switch to my goalie fast enough to try and stop the breakaway, and he's tied it up. So I started this playoff with some really good defensive zone stuff here. Again, watch when I lose the puck, I'm not going to start chasing. I go back into the slot and start taking away the lanes again, and he's just up there trying to fucking look around where to pass the puck to. I get the puck knocked off his stick, and for whatever reason, this pass I make up to get it out of the zone right into his own guy leaves all of my dudes flat-footed. I don't switch to my goalie fast enough to try and stop the breakaway, and he's tied it up. And that would be how it ends, guys. So we are on to the title game in Div 5. So, guys, this is the title game. It's not exactly a fun game to watch. I do manage to get up by a pretty big lead, so I'll just leave this example of why you want to use the overload on 5-on-4 or 5-on-3. This entire time, I'm just controlling the zone and not letting him on the puck. Let the AI push and attack when I lose it, and just look for those cross creases in the slot or the point shots open up. So that takes care of Div 5, and yeah, we're moving on. Okay, guys, again, I just want to mention, like, these videos are an example of why you need to worry about your skill first before you worry about your team. A lot of people do it in the reverse. They think that having the better players, well, it is an advantage in some cases. Not nearly the case as much as you think, especially when it comes to skill. So this is Div 5, so we're not up in the upper tiers yet, but it's another example of this guy's got an amazing team or a much better team than mine. And yeah, that Polkin and Philpeel and MacArthur line just going ham. So before I go, guys, I just want to say thank you again for all the subs. We're pushing on 2,000 on YouTube, and I just hit 100,000 on my NHL content since January 1st. Again, guys who have been here since the beginning, thank you for all the support and whatnot. Again, any comments, good or bad, I do appreciate. I can't get better unless you guys tell me that I'm doing something wrong or something well. As well on Twitch, almost at 800 followers on Twitch. I do love streaming, guys. That is the main goal as far as being a content creator, is to be a full-time Twitch streamer. So hit me up on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/nosleeves12. I do a giveaway every time I stream, as well as play EA Sports Hockey League with viewers. I did also hold an NHL tournament versus tournament that went over really well, so I will be doing that again in the future. So yeah, guys. Also on Twitter, if you guys want to talk video games or talk some shit about hockey, like my terrible Sharks, at No Sleeves Gaming on Twitter. So you guys have a good rest of your day, and yeah, stay average.